Hi everybody, I'm back, and today I'm going to show you how to prepare an acorn squash. The first thing you want to do is give this a good washing. I have washed this, and I use a little scrubbing brush that I have just for washing my vegetables. So I have washed it and it is all clean, and just want to give you a little tip. The shells on these kind of squashes, these winter squashes, are very, very hard. So if you pop it into the microwave for about 3 minutes, depending on the size of your squash, it will soften that hard shell. And just in case you want to keep your fingers, it'll soften that shell so that you can cut through it much easier. Okay, so I have that into the microwave for 3 minutes so I don't cut off my fingers because I'd really like to keep them. And I'll be back when it's done and slightly cooled enough for me to slice through it. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, this has been in the microwave, and then I went ahead and I popped it into the refrigerator so that it would cool down quicker. So it has been sitting in the refrigerator now probably for about an hour, so I'm basically cooking it like I would be cooking it from scratch. And you can really see here how microwaving it really softens it up and makes it so much easier to cut. Okay, now you just come in with a spoon, and you're going to want a sturdy spoon, and you scrape out all of the seeds. This one actually got a little bit softer than I would prefer in the microwave, so I would say 1 to 2 minutes. I usually cook acorn squash that are much larger than this one, so I would say 1 to 2 minutes. And I'm just going to grab this paper towel so that I can put these seeds right on here. You want to get the seeds and the stringy stuff, the kind of stuff that's in winter squash and pumpkins. These are all in the same family. So, okay, that one's cleaned out really nicely. Like I said, you really want to scrub the outside of your squash, because even though you're not going to be eating the skin, if the skin is dirty and you cut through that dirt, you're going to be transferring whatever is on the outside into your food. So it is really, really important that you scrub these vegetables. I don't care what it is, fruit, vegetables, whatever. When you bring them home, please give them a good washing. People have touched them in the store. You have no idea what they touched before they touched your produce. Produce tends to be the very first section in any grocery store, so it tends to get handled a lot. So I just really like to make sure I bring my vegetables home and wash them really, really good. Okay, and get rid of that real quick here. And I'm going to reach in and get a paring knife. Excuse me while I reach across. That's my paring knife. Okay. This knife will work. Okay, now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to score this. I don't want to go all the way through the skin, but close to the skin, so that my butter and my brown sugar and my maple syrup can sink in. Okay, I should have told you this in the beginning. What you're going to need for this entire recipe is 1 acorn squash, a couple tablespoons of brown sugar, either light or dark will do. You're going to need 2 to 4 teaspoons of maple syrup. I use real maple syrup. And you're going to need some salt and pepper, and about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. I like stuff really mapley, really sugary, and really buttery. So 2 to 4 tablespoons of butter, real butter, to be cut in half between the two halves of your acorn squash. And also, I should have told you, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and then you're going to take and you're going to pour some water into the bottom of your cookie sheet so that the bottoms of your squash don't dry out or burn or anything like that. Okay, now back to this part. We're going to score this, each one of these, because you want to be able for that sugar and the butter and everything to be able to get down into the meat of the squash. And I think I just poked through there, so a little bit's going to leak out. And that's really all that happens. If you do poke through the skin, then the butter and the syrup and the sugar will leak out a little bit. Some people only use maple syrup. Some people only use brown sugar. Personally, I use both because they both impart a different flavor. And I also use a little salt and pepper to give it that little sweet and savory at the same time. I mean, these are going to be sweet, but when you counteract it with a little bit of salt, it makes the flavors pop, and it makes it a little bit savory. Okay, we've got that side nicely scored, and you can see how the butter and stuff will be able now to get down into the meat. I'm going to go ahead and score this one. And putting them in the microwave also makes this part easier, because these winter squash are really, really hard. And that method can be used on any winter squash. It just softens them up a bit, makes them easier to work with, saves your fingers, and it also starts cooking them, which never hurts. So it slows down, or it shortens the amount of time you will need to cook them in the oven. And with summer coming on, the least amount of time in the oven as possible is, for me, the most beneficial. I only have a small window air conditioner, so I like to make sure that these spend the least amount of time in the oven as possible. You can cook them in the microwave. I don't particularly care for them that way. I prefer them cooked in the regular oven. So, but I do get them started in the microwave to shorten the oven cooking time. I hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday. I started this, some of this yesterday. So we're going to be having the potatoes that I was talking about in my collard green video tonight for dinner. The haul from that collard green video, I ended up with 2 great big meal-sized dishes of collard greens and 2 medium-sized side dishes of collard greens. Tonight now we're going to be having the collard greens for dinner because I forgot I was having company for dinner last night, so we didn't have the collard greens then. Okay, now you're going to want to take and you're going to want to rub the inside of your squash with the butter. Just rub it really good, get it all in there. So anyways, we ended up having beef stroganoff for dinner last night, and we'll be having the collard greens tonight. And each meal-sized portion of the collard green containers has enough for collard greens for one night's dinner, and then some leftovers for the next night as a side. So I got 3 meals and several side dishes out of 4 pounds of collard greens. So I thought that was pretty good. If you haven't seen that video yet, I did have a little bit of trouble loading it up. It cut it into 2 portions and published the second half. And then I had to go back, and when I realized the first half of the video had been cut off, I published the first half of the video. So it's kind of backwards, but it is all there. Okay, and like I give it a really generous amount of butter. Like I said, I love butter, real butter. I do not use margarine for anything, nothing, except for to clean sticky stuff off of Like if you have some pitch on your hands from some firewood, then your margarine, that's a good use for margarine. But it does never pass my lips. I do not eat margarine. It's one molecule away from plastic, and I don't eat plastic, so I don't want to eat margarine either. But that's my personal preference. That is no judgment, or not trying to tell anybody else what to do. Okay, now I'm going to come in with just a little bit of salt and pepper here. I can tilt this one just a little bit. Tilt and spin, tilt and spin. Okay, that worked. All right. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my brown sugar in. I'm not going to measure it. It's about a tablespoon. I kind of treat these similar to how I would do a candied sweet potato. A similar method, similar amount of sugar and butter. In my candied sweet potatoes, however, I do not put maple syrup. But I've made these with just maple syrup. I've made them with just brown sugar. And I've made them with both brown sugar and maple syrup. And that is the way to go, because it is just a flavor extravaganza. The texture is similar to a sweet potato, but not exactly. It also has a similar flavor. So most people who would like sweet potatoes, candied sweet potatoes, would like acorn squash. Also, you can make acorn squash. They're a very versatile. Zip, rewind. Okay. Also, you can make acorn squash. They are a very versatile vegetable, and you can make them sweet like this, like I'm preparing today, or you can make them savory, and you can stuff them as well. So, in another video here, a little ways down the line, I'll be showing you how to make a stuffed savory acorn squash. Okay, now I've got everything in, so I'm going to go ahead. And this is the hardest part for me, is drizzling the maple syrup. Like I said, I use real maple syrup. It absolutely has just a wonderful, wonderful flavor. Kind of get it all around the sides and down inside. And I kind of spilled a little, so we'll just put that in there. And then as they cook, you go ahead and you come in and you kind of baste them. Not from what drips down into the pan, but from what forms in the center of your acorn squash. You just take the juices and, whoops, excuse me. You'll just take the juices as they cook, and you'll grab them up from there, and you'll put them back on like that. And all that brown sugar will melt. Okay, so let me get this one. Some maple syrup on this one. My butter could have been just a little bit warmer, and my maple syrup would not be running off like this. But I didn't realize that my butter dish had gone empty, so I didn't have any butter that was at room temperature. That's quite a bit of maple syrup for that one. But it'll be fine. I will eat every last bite without any complaints. Okay, and then I'll give Mike this other one that doesn't have quite so much maple syrup. Alright, now, like I said, you want to go ahead and pour water into the bottom of your baking dish. And you don't want to flood it, but you want to make sure that you have enough water to cover the entire bottom of the baking dish, so that it doesn't dry out while it's cooking and the water all evaporate away, so that there's enough to stay in there for the entire cook, and your acorn squash don't burn on the bottoms. Okay, now we're just going to pop these into a 400-degree oven. And when they're done and I come back, I will let you know how long it takes to cook them. I believe it was about 30 minutes. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, tonight with our dinner of collard greens and acorn squash, we're going to have some of these baby Yukon Gold potatoes. And I'm going to show you how we make these. We have these a lot. I'm in the middle of having my teeth done, so there's a lot of foods that I can't eat. Everything has to be pretty soft or pretty easy to chew for me to be able to eat it. So we're doing our potatoes this way right now, and we have found that we absolutely adore them this way. So what he does is he quarters up the potatoes. What he's doing is quartering up the potatoes, and then he puts them into a pot, and he parboils them until they're just fork tender. And then he drains them thoroughly, adds in some butter, and gently fries them in butter until they're just lightly crispy.
Don't forget the garlic.
Oh yes, butter and garlic salt. And this is my sweetheart, Mike.
Hi.
And he is often behind the camera when I need two hands and I can't do it all by myself. And we cook together a lot in the kitchen. We really enjoy cooking together and just creating wonderful meals. So I'm going to let him go ahead and finish up these potatoes, and he's going to go right over here and drop them into this pot of water. And then I'll be back when he gets to the stage of draining them and starting to fry them up in butter. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, my timer has gone off and my acorn squash are finished. I'm going to go ahead and baste them one more time. The shells look pretty brown, but the meat is nice and tender. The meat of the vegetable. So I'm just taking the juice that's down inside that has released out of the acorn squash itself, and the juice that was from the take a little bit of this juice over into this one. I'm sorry, can't really see it. It kind of looks darker on the camera than it actually is in real life, or right here in my kitchen. So I'm just basting them one last time with this brown sugar, butter, and maple syrup. And then I'll just put these right onto our plates, and we'll just scoop out the flesh and eat it right out of the shell. Just a little bit more butter here. Let that melt really quickly. Get a little bit more of that up on here. Oh, sorry, I was pointing on the wrong one. Just get a little bit more of that butter to mingle in and just get into the last of that meat. And I don't know if you can tell, this meat is just, the meat of this acorn squash is really, really tender. So what'll happen is we'll just scoop it down into the shell bowl and mix it up with the brown sugar and eat it that way. Some people scoop it out and then put it on their plate. I just go ahead and let the peeling act as a little bowl, and just scoop it out of that. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and just grab a little bit more butter for this one as well. Okay, and as you can see, the tray has pretty much gone dry, and that's just where the sugars have dried up and gotten dark in color. The acorn squash themselves are not burned. They are well done, actually done to perfection. Okay, so I will be back when I plate this up. We've got our beautiful acorn squash. We've got our potatoes, which we haven't tried yet. They have been boiled and drained. And in this pot, ooh, steam! In this pot, we have our beautiful collard greens that I made up yesterday. And oh my goodness, they smell heavenly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and gently fry these potatoes, and I'll be back when I get it all plated up. Okay, this is our meal. We have collard greens. We're going to have some gently fried potatoes that have been parboiled, and those are baby organic Yukon Gold potatoes, and a beautiful acorn squash. Okay, I'll be back when I get it plated up. I'll be back. Okay, everybody, I'm back. I have my dinner plated up. I have my fried potatoes, my acorn squash, and this is my collard greens. We decided to go ahead and have the potatoes and acorn squash with it. I don't know, my body must be absolutely craving vitamins and minerals because I had to fix it all. So I would say that probably all of them are side dishes. There's really not an entree. I'll probably eat more collard greens than anything else. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up if you like my video. If you haven't seen the collard green video, go over and take a look at that. And maybe you'll find some other videos over there that you would like to look at as well. Okay, I think that's about it. Oh, as usual, I finish off my meal with cracked black pepper, and I got my pink Himalayan salt now in my mill, so I have cracked Himalayan salt. So I'm going to go in for some of this acorn squash first. It's just calling my name. Okay. It's soft. It's moist. Oh, very, very good. I have to have another bite. That's really good. Did you guys see it? I think if I turn it, it'll fall off. But that is my baked acorn squash. Oh yeah, it took about an hour. So it takes an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to bake an acorn squash. Okay. Oh my. That is really so good. But I absolutely adore sweet potatoes, whether they're candied or not. I like sweet potatoes just with salt and pepper and butter. Now if I can get any of these potatoes on my fork. Okay, goodies, I'm coming for you. Alright. And my parboiled, gently fried potatoes in butter. It doesn't take very much butter, so, but they're a little bit crispy, but yet soft and easy for me to chew. Okay, going in. Mmm. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Excuse me while I'm chewing. I'm kind of just doing a little happy dance because it tastes so very good. Okay. I'm going to go in over here. Bring these collard greens over here. Oh, baby, I have better over here. I'm not sure. Anyways, these are my greens. I have not tasted them since they got completely done. I haven't tasted them since the end of the video time yesterday. But I did get a substantial amount of greens. Enough for 2 meals, which we'll have leftovers because tonight we're not really having a meal of collard greens, but it is the main thing. And then I just was craving the greens and the acorn squash, so I cooked both. But as you can see here in the pot, ooh, that's hot. In the pot, there's still more greens, so that'll be a side dish, probably for my fried chicken tomorrow. And there's a little bit of leftover fried potatoes, and who knows what we'll do with that. Okay, I'm gonna try these. Like I said, to me, it's the juice. If you get that juice right, where all of those greens and that nice smoky ham shank have cooked all day. Now, that smoked shank is does not have salt in it. It's just slow smoked from my butcher shop. So that's why I do need to add, especially with 4 pounds of collard greens, I needed to add quite a bit of salt and seasonings. Okay, I'm going in. Oh, that juice is good. Juice is good. Okay. That is very good. Oh yeah. That needs just a little bit of salt and pepper. I'll be back in a flash. Okay, I'm back. I put some more cracked sea salt and some cracked peppercorns into my collard greens. These dark green leafy vegetables, they're just so good for your body. They have so many nutrients. They're a nutrient dense food. Okay. That flipped up and got me in the face with juice. Okay. These greens be playing with me. They be playing. Mmm. Those are so good. If you've never made greens before and you like spinach, you might want to try these. I do like to make mixed greens, but I couldn't find any, and I was hankering for some greens, so. But actually, this video was about this acorn squash, and it is really, really yummy. Go in, get a bite right here. Like I said, it has a little bit different texture. It's a little, I don't want to say hard, but it's denser maybe than a sweet potato. I'm not exactly sure if that's the right word anyways, but that's it. It's golden brown, it's caramelized with butter, brown sugar, and real maple syrup. Okay, I gotta bite this. It is really, really good. Excuse me while I swallow my bite. That too is really, really good. Let's see if I can get a good picture of this. Okay. That is my, whoa, that's my acorn squash. I'm going to take one more bite of it. Oh, I didn't show you. I'm going to stand here and eat the whole thing. That is so good. Really, really good. I can't wait. Oh my goodness, what is my problem? I cannot wait to make a stuffed one with a savory flavoring. I may put just a little sweetness in that one too, because sweet and savory go really well together. So the stuffing part may be savory, and I may still do the acorn squash sweet. Okay, one more bite, and then I'm going to go and sit down and enjoy my meal. I hope you all had a wonderful Sunday. We've had a wonderful day today. I went out and test drove a couple of cars and got my window air conditioner installed and finished my videos and got this acorn squash video up today. Well, it's about to go up. Okay. Let me see if I can get this all on one plate. Okay. That's my meal. Collard greens, acorn squash, and parboiled fried potatoes. Thank you everybody for watching. Okay, sorry. I accidentally bumped the button. Thank you everybody for watching. Please thumbs up my video, give me a like, and let me know what you thought about my video, and if you like it or not, or if you don't like it. Any feedback would be great. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you hit that little blue bell, you'll get a notification every time I make one of these new and wonderful meals. Okay, this is a new life journey that we're going to all take together. Okay, I love each and every one of you. May God bless you all. Brightest blessings.